Three, two, one. What's up, everyone? This is Erica, and that's Sean, and we are doing our entertainment review via video, as you can see, because a lot of times in the show we kind of have to condense things since we talk about so much. And so, what we're doing tonight is we are talking about one of our favorite shows, which is in full swing now, which is
Queen Sugar.
Right. I'm tired, y'all. It's been a rough day. Listen, we both had crazy days today. And so we got our life with a little Queen Sugar. So now we're going to talk to you about it and just let you know what we thought about it. And if you have any questions or comments, or you agree or you disagree, feel free to email us at No Holds Barred Sports, or you can join our Facebook group and leave comments under this video. What are you doing?
I'm just looking at myself. I'm good looking and everything like Ralph Angel.
Oh, you gonna talk like Ralph Angel too?
No.
Charlie won't let me drive the tractor. So it's been a crazy day, and so we're gonna talk about some Queen Sugar, and so we'll get right into that now. This is the second season that has started. This is episode 4. So let's get into that. The title of the episode is My Soul's High Song. Don't know if that really has anything to do with the episode as a whole, or specifically to me, it has something to do with something that happened in the episode, which we will get into. So we're going to do it by characters and just discuss what happens to the character the main characters, and then in that main character, if there is a secondary character attached to them, we kind of discuss what happens to their secondary character as well. So we'll start off with Ralph Angel. Tractor. Dollar. Okay, so the episode starts with everyone in the house getting ready at Ralph Angel's place, from formerly his dad. So they're at the farm, and Ralph Angel has a few guests, namely Charlie and Micah. And so Ralph Angel is not used to green smoothies, but apparently Charlie's been making them for him, and they're all getting used to that. And so Ralph Angel gets the mail, and his check comes in. It's like tax refunds, like, hey,
Yeah, and that was good to see. I thought that scene was shot very well, because you saw a brother and sister getting along. Like, Charlie's making the smoothies, saying, Micah, breakfast is ready, and Ralph Angel like, ain't no bacon and eggs. And
no, they from the South.
Yeah. And Charlie was like, you like this. So he was like, yeah, don't give me one. So I thought that was pretty cool, considering the strife in episode 3. It looked like they had moved on, and it was just being brother and sister. So I thought that was pretty cool. And for Ralph Angel to get that win, get that check in the mail, I'm like, all right, things moving in the right direction for RA. So it started off great for him.
Yeah, I think another dynamic that happens here in the morning is the sets up the rest of the episode is about the strife between the children, because they're both only children. Blue is an only child, Micah is an only child, and apparently they're not used to anyone around. All the space that's in the house is essentially their space, and so now they both have to share. Of course, Micah's had at least 17 years of being an only child, and Blue has had about 7. And so that dynamic is already not starting off so well. Micah can't find his stuff because Blue has decided to color on his calculus notebook.
I don't know if it's an only child thing, but like, I think it was more of a teenager, this is the end of the world type of thing, because we have one, and she thinks things are the end of the world at times. So he didn't even know if Blue had moved the calculus book or whatnot. He said he could have left it at his dad's, or he could have left it at school. He didn't know, but he just got a little attitude about it. and it's just which leads me to something that happens later on in the show with Micah. So I thought that was just, I thought it was petty. I thought it was just like, man, just look for the boy or just ask. Like, Blue, have you seen my book?
Well, he couldn't find Blue. Remember, he said he was in the shower, got out, couldn't find him no more.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that the house was as big as the White House and had 48 rooms.
No, I'm just,
You know, like,
to
come
me,
on. See, another teenage thing. You know, just look for it. Look for it. Like, good.
yeah.
It's
So
ridiculous.
obviously, this is something that just really sets up the rest of the episode, and so apparently everybody goes on their way. Ralph Angel, he gets his check. He tells Prosper, he like, man, I got paid. Let's go get some soybeans. You know. So he was like, you know, I want to plant it now, you know, and so I guess when they decide to go look where they can plant it is where they discover the white flies, and it looks like some type of plague. It doesn't immediately ruin the crop apparently, but it is dire situation.
Yeah, it was more so of a nuisance, and you wouldn't be able to use, you know, cane from that acreage. So it was to like, I mean, I looked at it, I was just like, man, you got to worry about, like, I didn't even know what white flies were, you know, like, and they bring it up later, they just attracted to the sweetness of the cane.
Sweetness.
So, yeah, man, I was like, okay, so you a farmer, you got to worry about white flies? But apparently so, it is a big deal. So, yeah, they had to correct it.
So I think this is the growth between Ralph Angel and Charlie. So what Ralph Angel does is he immediately calls Charlie about the situation, which in the past that has been a problem between the two of them. So he calls her, they discuss it. He offers his money to pay for the plane to the crop duster
For
thing.
the loan he just got.
Yeah, he offers to do that, and she's like, no, I'll pay for that. You use the money, what you got it for what you wanted it to do, you know, your plan. So I think that was a really good demonstration of growth between the two. And so that's, you know, that's how they're going to take care of it. So they do the crop dusting. That, apparently it kills the flies, but the residue from the flies is still left, and that needs to be scrubbed.
You know,
30 acres?
that made sense to me. I mean, like, okay, so you spray the plants or whatever. The bugs just not gonna fall off. They just gonna die or whatever. So
They got to do it by hand.
well, Erica,
30 acres.
You farm by hand, dear. You know, you farm by hand. There are modern conveniences, but you farm by hand.
I ain't trying to hit it.
Okay, so she ain't trying to hear it, but the fact of the matter is, you gotta get out there and scrub them. So
Right.
basically, they come up with this system. They get help from the other farmers, which I thought was kind of cool from a community aspect, which is something this show is a theme of this show is community and everybody helping everybody. So the other farmers come in and they decide to help, and it's really great. It's really cool, but the process. So you have to scrub
Literally.
the residue from the bugs off. Check to see if it withers. If it's withers, gotta throw it away. Then you have to set up traps, which is like basically a yellow
Board.
board
A poster board.
that you put Vaseline on, and the yellow attracts the flies, and the Vaseline makes it stick. So
Where they get all that Vaseline that quick? They went and bought out Walmart, didn't they?
probably.
They went out and bought out the bar.
Probably. Walmart ain't got that much Vaseline. So, I don't know. They probably went to
Amazon Prime. 2 business days. Anyway.
Amazon don't deliver out to the country.
It delivers anywhere. Okay, so they are trying to resolve this situation. In the process of calling up everybody, they call up the collective of black farmers, and Ralph Angel calls Darla and like, hey man, I really need you because we got to get this done. And she's like, which apparently Darla had the day before off because she took Blue to the pool, right?
Yep.
So then she's at work, and just like the life is, right when you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing, your boss walks up. So, her boss is, I don't know, very judgmental. Like, I don't know, his attitude is pretty poor, and but she asked, can she leave to go help Ralph Angel? She didn't lie on her baby. She said that it wasn't about her kid. It's, have to do with her boyfriend, and the boss like shuts that down immediately. Like, your love life is your love life. Off my time clock, boo. So, she's like, dang. Now they never show her physically leaving, but she does show up right in time to help, and so.
Well, okay, let's back up. Is it okay for Ralph Angel to call and ask for help knowing she at work? Because, okay, this is how I look at it. We're married.
Right.
You know my work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I know yours.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is a bit more flexible than yours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to call you knowing that you may not have the flexibility just because I'm asking. Because at the end of the day, he called just to ask. He had other people. That job was not going to be made or broken based upon one human being.
That's true.
So,
but I think part of him asking her for help, which is part of why she, and I think the reason why she went to go do it, part of the asking for help was the dynamic of him assuming or feeling like he has to do everything. He has to take care of everything. And that was demonstrated when they went out to dinner. He didn't want her to tip, even though he had no damn money for a tip. And so earlier in the episode, when she talked about swimming lessons for Blue, and his initial statement was, "No, you ain't got to do nothing. I'm gonna take care of it." Even though he let her know it was a strain for him to be able to pay for the lessons. So that's what I think is on both of their parts. Him offering it was trying to show, hey, I want you to be inclusive of this relationship, and her doing whatever she had to get there is her trying to meet that.
Okay, all right, I'll go with that. However,
I don't think it was right, but
however, he didn't call on by. And to meet your obligation, or to your theory, of him being more inclusive, all he had to do was call and tell her, like, hey, I just want to
Ralph
let
Angel.
you know.
Listen,
oh, no, hold
this
on.
Ralph Angel, we know
Hey,
it.
I just want to let you know there's an issue at the farm. If you could come after work, that would be great because we'll still be here. So that was a better way of handling that.
Ralph Angel ain't that mature.
And it also shows his immaturity and it shows his selfishness at the same time. It shows his selfishness at the same time.
I agree with that too.
So I wasn't a fan of that because when he called, I was just like, "What you, man? If she ain't working,
She doesn't get paid.
she don't get paid, bro. Like, come on." So I didn't think that was cool at all. I thought that was very selfish.
I understand that viewpoint definitely because, yeah, I mean he could have definitely handled it a different way. It's just that Ralph Angel is a slow developing character as far as maturity comes. I mean, he's just demonstrated it's a setback before it's a step forward with him a lot of times. And to your point, it was selfish. I think it was probably immature of Darla to just be like, well, I got to go anyway. Like, it's not life and death for your child.
Yeah.
It's not life or death for RA. So, she could have been like, man, I'll be there. I'm headed straight there when I get off. That's all she had to say.
That's all she had to say.
It's a parking garage at City Hall. They close at 5. Okay. So, the next thing that happens is they are discussing this issue. The soybean, losing the crops that they did lose from the white flies. That sounds like a little rock band, like an indie rock band, the White Flies, But they're at the table. Charlie is discussing it. Micah's trying to do his homework, and Charlie and Ralph Angel are discussing it. And Blue comes up and tries to play with Micah, and